A local community has a beef with a cattle feedlot. We have both sides of this controversy ahead on Grow. And FFA continues to grow in the state, even in cities like Kearney. We'll explain and explore the career options FFA students have. Get ready to grow. Hall County has a beef with a local feedlot, and it could end up in court. The saga is taking place in Hall County. NTV's Steve White has more.
Nebraska may be the beef state, but Hall County said an application from a local cattleman wanting to expand a feedlot didn't go anywhere.
You could not grant him a conditional use permit
because it didn't follow the county's rules.
He's too close to the neighboring houses with his operation.
Ken Koloff tells NTV he wants to be a good neighbor. He said to remain profitable, he has expanded. And because he operates in 2 counties, says he didn't know about Hall County's zoning. He says the county needs to update the rules, saying he hasn't been treated fairly.
Mr. Koloff seemed more interested in how we could change our zoning regulations rather than how he could come into compliance with what we have.
The county attorney says there may be a couple of thousand head of cattle beyond what's allowed. And Jack Zitterkoff says he wants to use the hammer through fines and court.
Action in the district court to enjoin his operation, to stop his operation.
Koloff says he complies with state environmental regulations. County leaders say the point is the feedlot doesn't meet their requirements and they want the cattle moved.
My opinion is we send a demand letter to Mr. Koloff giving him 10 days, 2 weeks to present to us his plan.
Koloff said the county is unfairly making an example of him. The county board sides with their attorney, saying the zoning rules need to be enforced.
Koloff maintains the county has not enforced zoning in the past and should be working with him instead of trying to stop him. The county attorney now has the board's blessing to demand the feedlot meet the rules or face consequences. An expanded poultry processing plant opens in southeast Nebraska. Tecumseh Farms opened a new 30,000 square foot addition to its plant in Tecumseh, expanding capacity by 50%. They produce the Smart Chicken brand. The company says all of its chickens are raised on 30 family farms in eastern Nebraska and western Iowa. Turning now to hog manure to natural gas. Manure from about 2 million hogs will be converted to natural gas and sold by summer 2016. Supporters of the Missouri project say it will keep tons of methane out of the atmosphere, and this is a joint venture of Smithfield and an energy company. They estimate it'll cost $120 million, making it one of the largest biogas projects of its kind. Irrigation is key to Nebraska agriculture, and now comes word a major aquifer may be overpumped. The High Plains Aquifer covers about 8 states, including Nebraska, and includes the Ogallala Aquifer. It provides close to 30% of the nation's irrigation water. New research from Kansas State has found Nebraska can keep up its pace of pumping for decades, but across the entire system, the aquifer is being depleted.
As we project out what happens over the future or into the future, it basically the amount of depletion that we have, the amount of water that comes out of the aquifer by having the water table go lower will decrease by about half over the course of the next 100 years.
Researchers say the aquifer as a whole peaked in its ability to recharge back in 2006. From cover crops to social media to wine, high school students dabbled in a wide variety of careers, all centered around Nebraska's #1 industry. NTV's Megan Johnson has more from this big FFA conference.
This is the second year for the program, and instead of splitting it up and having it in different parts of the state, organizers planned it as a mega conference in Grand Island, bringing hundreds of students and dozens of professionals together.
These are called robel poles.
A quick lesson in measuring grassland growth. It's an everyday part of the U.S. Forest Service, but an example of a job some of these Nebraska high schoolers might not know about.
It's a pretty cool opportunity for us to kind of go around and meet a bunch of different
professionals in fields we might want to work at later.
The Pathways to Careers Conference is FFA sponsored, but organizers say it fits in with the Department of Education's drive to get young students thinking about their future.
We're trying to find the right opportunities in the right context to hone those natural interests and get students developing on a path that is right for them that can eventually lead to a career.
Around 60 professionals working in a variety of industries talk to and work with the 270 students, but leaders say it's really the tip of the iceberg.
There are 300 different career opportunities that are available to people to be employed in agriculture.
Some kids say they're already leaning toward a field, while others explore areas they don't know much about.
Growing up in a small town, a lot of animal-involved sessions would really benefit me, and landscaping. My mom really likes her garden, so it'd be kind of nice to have some insights on that.
Precision agriculture, where you use drones and map the fields, and the nutrition. Yeah, it could get you into doing that at zoos.
It's twisted. Being high schoolers, conference organizers say they don't have to leave this day with life all planned out, but hopefully with some good ideas.
And if they walk away and they say, as a result of this conference, I know that I don't want to do X, we are A-okay with that. And we also hope that they say, and I do know that I want to know more about B.
All of the things are hands-on experiences. We learn a lot about different fields of ag and FFA. It's really an eye-opening experience.
A lot of the careers being discussed are in fields with jobs waiting for the right people, but students also heard from entrepreneurs about forging their own paths and finding needs to help fill.
Kids say a conference like this shows how many different careers relate back to agriculture. Our own Steve White has a chance to speak to these kids as well about the way we cover agriculture on the news and how social media has changed things as well. Students say that's one of the things they like about FFA, expanding their horizons of careers that can keep them connected to the farm.
FFA has brought me so many more opportunities that I was unaware of, and it's been just a great eye-opening experience even for myself that has been able to help me grow and expand as a leader.
The one thing that I like most about being in FFA is probably the opportunities that it gives me to open up more. I've always been kind of a closed-off kind of kid, so it really opened up a lot of opportunities.
That FFA experience is now expanding into Kearney. Kearney High School officially setting up an FFA chapter and ag classes for next year.
And that is a tremendous opportunity for students to be involved in an area that they're very passionate about and excited about. The leadership, the entrepreneurship are tremendous components of that.
The school is searching for a teacher, and we have reported in the past about the surge in the number of new FFA chapters. That means the demand for advisors is so high, it's a challenge for these new programs to find teachers or advisors. In the meantime, Kearney High is meeting a need in the community.
It's an area that we've not had the opportunity to be involved in at the high school before now. So I think you'll find some businesses and industry that will be very, very welcomed into the school and very excited to pitch in and help students.
Gloomy weather and a gloomy farm economy. It didn't seem to affect Gateway Farm Expo. NTV's Steve White has more now.
We may be going through challenging times in the farm economy, but that doesn't seem to be stopping the crowds from coming to this show. The crowds poured in as soon as the doors at the Gateway Farm Expo opened. Snow and rain may have actually helped attendance. If anyone had work to do on the farm, the weather likely delayed it. The majority of vendors here come back every year. And despite challenges in the farm markets, this is a place for farmers to see what's new.
We've got everything you need, so if you farm and ranch, everything's under one roof, from your tools to your big equipment dealers, so you can meet everybody here if you want to.
It's a free show, and that includes a free lunch. It's organized by a volunteer board who rely on hundreds of other volunteers to pull it off.
They are awesome, and they just work hard, and they do their job well, and that's what makes the show good.
And given the economy, vendors say efficiency is something they can sell farmers on.
With the 350 corn right now, it's so important that the growers out there can leverage all this technology. When $8 corn, it's pretty easy to make some money at $8 corn, but when it's 350 corn, you've got to have all the efficiency tools you can get your hands on.
And it's more than just vendors. There are free seminars as well with speakers from the University of Nebraska and other organizations talking about farm markets and also how to make livestock operations more efficient. The show chairman tells me they're already looking ahead to next year. In fact, he says a lot of the vendors will be signing contracts guaranteeing their spot to be back here in 2016.
A crop maybe not that appealing to farmers in the past could be making a big comeback. Details next. Plus, you don't want to miss that growth forecast. Come on back.